In order to escape the horrors of the maze, Princess Diana was forced to make a pact with an ancient power. But what new mysteries will be revealed along the way? Well, let's hop into the pages of Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 12 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Wonder Woman had managed to claim a magical trident made of pure water. It's here in the beginning of this issue we discover that yes, this is indeed the legendary Trident of Poseidon, Greek god of the ocean who just so happens to have a lot of very important connections to the Kingdom of Atlantis, a kingdom that even Diana herself, Princess of Hell, also believed to be lost below the waves. And isn't it fun that we're getting all these fun little breadcrumbs and references to Atlantis before we even hear hide nor hair of Arthur Curry or Aquaman. Now, Wonder Woman fights valiantly against the Mad Queen Clea and her army of fishmen, but it's still an uphill battle. You don't thrive in a horrible place like this maze unless you're made of stern stuff, and indeed Clea is. Worse still, Wonder Woman ends up exhausting all of her magical powers attempting to get a very important message back to her Amazon sister Io and the others who are trying to escape. Which means moving forward from here on out, Diana is going to have to rely on good old-fashioned fisticuffs to get the job done. Thankfully, she is very good at fisticuffs as much as she is magic. Now, this issue comes packing some other pretty big revelations too. Apparently, the Trident of Poseidon actually did belong to Clea, but she lost it, along with her sanity not long after she started eating her own fishmen to survive, which, yeah, I mean, I guess that does explain how she managed to make it this long, and also, ooh, totally gross. Surprisingly, though, Wonder Woman herself actually doesn't pass nearly as harsh a judgment on Clea as I just did. In fact, she actually understands her better than most people. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Cut off from her home, her people, and her culture. It would be very damn easy to lose yourself under those circumstances, and indeed, that is probably the most horrifying, tragic thing of the maze, how it robs people of their humanity. Despite all of that, though, people like Ferdinand and Io actually did manage to beat the odds and hold on to themselves against the terrifying odds. Why, Ferdinand himself even gets probably the scene of the issue wherein he actually stops for a few seconds before he crosses the threshold back into the real world, because basically all he's ever known is the maze and he wonders what his life is going to be without it, and he honestly fears what it could potentially be. It's just very real and very poignant stuff. Thankfully, Ferdinand does ultimately end up taking that jump and going through the portal, and not a moment too soon either, as his siren friend, the one that Clea was hoping to capture, has turned her song on Steve Trevor and the rest of Wonder Woman's friends. Thankfully, Ferdinand is there and gets her to stop. Now, back over with Wonder Woman, she reveals what her true final gambit in the battle against Clea is. No, she's not going to use violence, she's not going to beat her with her trident. Instead, she has decided to flood the maze, returning water to the former Queen of Atlantis and the fish people, who are overjoyed to finally be able to swim around again. Oh, look at that, they're not nearly as scary as they first seem. They're just fun little guys who want to go for a swimmy swim. At first, Clea thinks this is some sort of trick, maybe some sort of dark magic, only for Diana to say, nah, I just poked the walls until the East River started flowing in. Better yet, I'm actually not going to stop you right now. I want you to follow the water to freedom and return to whatever might or might not be left of Atlantis out there. Again, we're spiritual siblings. What happened to you more or less happened to me, and there's a damn good chance that I could have lost my mind in humanity if I was in the maze much longer than I was. That being said, if I hear tell that you're doing the whole evil Mad Queen thing again out there, I will come back and I will kick your ass. And so yeah, with that, the day is more or less saved. Diana not only manages to escape the horrors of the maze herself, but she helped everyone else get out alive as well. Well, everyone, that is, except for the person she was trying to find in the first place, Io. It seems that when she crossed the threshold in the portal, she just kinda poofed out of existence, and no one is exactly sure if she's alive or dead. Wonder Woman throws herself on the ground and pleads to Hecate for a sign, any sign. And oh, Diana gets one, though admittedly it's a lot more Abrahamic than it is Greek, a single white dove carrying an olive branch. Honestly, kind of fitting as far as symbols go. I mean, Wonder Woman did do a lot of flooding in this story. Where did Io get off to? Well, she's not only alive, but she actually managed to return to the Themyscira, where she is met by none other than Diana's mother, Queen Hippolyta, who in this absolute universe manages to look even more like just an older version of her daughter than she normally does. The Queen of the Amazons is overjoyed to hear that her daughter is not only alive, but out there they're thriving and doing good. It also seems that wherever the Themyscira is right now, it's more or less completely unchanged. Now, that's where the main story ends, but we actually get treated to a little backup. Veronica Cale decides to rake Dr. Poison over the coals for her failures at the beginning of the arc. Poison's not shook, though. She doesn't care that Cale lost the labyrinth and all of the test subjects therein. As far as she's concerned, she still holds all the cards in this scenario and really only manipulated the situation as it was in an attempt to get a better, more usable suit. Cale begrudgingly agrees to Poison's demands, if only because she needs her top scientist on the next big weapons project. But what could that be? Well, we see Veronica Cale walk through a room filled with cells with some very familiar characters. If you're a longtime Wonder Woman fan, there's a crocodile-headed man, a woman who clearly looks like she could get giant if she wanted. But the real VIP prisoner is at the end, a woman with her mouth covered in Hannibal Lecter-style restraints, a woman whose name we learn is Zatanna. Yes, that's right. To kill a witch, you gotta send another witch. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everyone. And so that was Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 12, everybody. A really satisfying conclusion to another real satisfying arc. I love what Phillips does in this story, not just for Wonder Woman, showcasing her creativity under pressure, but also her endless depth of kindness, which in the darker, grittier, more twisted Absolute universe is only even more impressive. I'm also really enjoying the promises that this book is making for the future. We see them lay the groundwork not only for Atlantis and a potential Aquaman, but also, hey, as a stinger, here's just Zatanna. Which, man, a good Wonder Woman versus Zatanna story, that could be money, man, let me tell you, especially in this world where they have really established Diana as the main magic one of this new trinity. To have her duke it out with the DC Universe's most prominent magic lady, I mean, that just writes itself, doesn't it? Also, hey, Cale covered Zatanna's mouth. Does that mean that her magic still has a speech component like it does in the main universe? Does she still talk backwards? We see Wonder Woman speak all sorts of crazy magic words and incantations that are unreadable. Is her stuff different? Are we going to see a clashing of styles? Is the Absolute Universe going to actually write some concrete rules for how magic and mysticism work? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out. Overall, I'd give this one another very positive, very well-deserved 8 out of 10. Great stuff. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.